Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Highly Taken Podcast. David, back at you again from Tallahassee, Florida.
Christian, back at you in Maryland in the car currently.
Hey, Nick, back at you in Jacksonville. Hey, let's get it, guys.
All right, so beginning of a wonderful weekend. It's actually Thursday, but that means we have gone in 60 seconds.
We're gonna have to put that segment on hold, bro.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Christian's in the car.
All right, we'll put that on hold.
Fine. I didn't want to.
I'm really thrown off now, guys.
Yeah, put it on hold.
I didn't even want to do it anyway.
Rude.
Nick, go into your segment. I think we're gonna trust or bust.
You want to go right and trust or bust? All right.
Yeah, bust off the bat, get it over with.
All right, perfect. So, guys, crazy week last week, fantasy-wise. We have players out there that did absolutely nothing, mainly your quarterbacks. My trust quarterback of the week is going to be Josh Allen. Dude's not going to turn the ball over 4 times against the Raiders. He's got something to prove this week. He's going to ball out, probably have 50 rushing yards and 3 TDs. Going to ball out. Start Saquon. Played absolutely awful against the Cowboys. They didn't do anything. But they're playing Arizona. So they have something to prove over there. You gotta trust it. You gotta trust it. Moving on to a wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, guys. He had a great first game with Jacksonville, but now they have the home opener in the Jag Stadium. He's gonna get it done against the Chiefs. Probably will have 100 yards. I wouldn't be surprised. Then I would say another running back, Ramondre Stevenson. He did okay. I think he had 14 points last week against the Eagles.
Did he?
But they're going up against Miami. So you got to think screens and stuff. And I think he possibly will get 20 points in this game. I feel like Tyreek's kind of, without saying, I think you have to start Tyreek.
Yeah, Tyreek's an every week starter, dude.
Obviously. But I'm going to say start T. Higgins.
Ooh.
Dude's not going to put up another 0 2 games in a row. I know they're playing the Ravens, but I think he has something to prove this week. Even if they trade him, they're going to get his trade value up. For the defense, start the Broncos defense this week, guys. You got to trust that defense.
Let's ride.
They're going up against Washington and Sam Howell. You trust it. And this is going to come to a surprise for you guys for a tight end. Start Kyle Pitts.
Really? Will he finally get a touchdown?
I felt really bad for him. I was seeing some of the game. He was wide open multiple times and he didn't get the ball. They're going to look at that film. He's going to get the ball this week. He's going to be a tight end that has a decent amount of points. It's his time to finally have one. Bust. Do not touch these guys. Najee Harris. That goes without showing. I told you last week. I'm telling you again.
Bro.
What?
This is like the anti-Harris club. You've dissed Najee Harris the past 3 weeks.
It's just a club of one. He has this very big thing against Najee Harris.
Najee Harris is not going to be the number 1 there anymore. You do not start him. Then I got Scary Terry. Don't start him. Sam Howell's not good. They're going up against Broncos defense, which arguably could be a top 5 defense. Do not start Scary Terry. That's what I got, man.
Okay,
yeah,
Christian.
I'm going to throw a guy in there. Nick, I think we've touched base on this, but tonight, Swift. I think Swift's going to have a big game. No Gainwell in the backfield for the Eagles offense.
Well, people won't see that. So that's why I didn't put him on the list. I agree with you.
He wants me to turbo edit this thing. He says they own both episodes out now.
I agree with you, though. Swift's going to have himself a homecoming game, for sure.
Well, then I wasn't prepared for any other players outside of tonight.
Yeah. I have some. So Trust, going to be a surprise pick here. I'm going with rookie tight end for the Packers, Luke Musgrave. He had 3 receptions for 50 yards last week. He led the team in routes ran. He also should have more points last week, but Love overthrew him on a couple when he was wide open. I like the rookie tight end, and I think he may be a good decision, especially in a PPR league. Christian looks confused.
bro, because women don't know how to drive.
Okay, well, I may
Oh,
have to edit that part out.
wow.
Another trust. I have Jamal Williams. Last week, he was a little lackluster from him. He played a good Tennessee defense and got 45 yards on 18 carries. This week, he plays a weak Panthers defense who gave up 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on the grounds last week. Again, keep in mind he's going to get the bulk of the carries because Kamara's still out. And so I think I could see him getting over 80 yards and a touchdown this week, having a really good week for himself. And a trust. This is going to be my surprise trust this week, but I have CJ Stroud. Now you're going to have to listen to this here. This is coming off this is a shocker of game. He had 0 touchdowns last week, but he put up 242 yards on 64% completion against a good Ravens team. The Colts allowed 31 points last week, and I like Robert Woods and Nico Collins helping him to go off and have a great week against another first-round pick and Anthony Richardson. For my busts, I put Drake London. He came off a game with a whopping 0 receptions with 1 target last week, and he dropped the only pass I got thrown his way. He is most likely to be matched up against Jair Alexander, who made DJ Moore look like a non-factor last week, so that's why I would sit him as well. And then I have Zay Flowers, and he had a great game last week with 9 receptions and 78 yards. He played 46% snaps in the slot, but they play a really good Bengals passing defense. The Bengals passing defense, although they got blasted last week, their pass defense last week only allowed 36.8% catch rate and 1.14 yards after catch. And Lamar Jackson, he's only passed for over 60% completion in 2 games in his career against Cincy, and he hasn't thrown for a multiple touchdown game against Cincinnati since 2020. So I think that continues.
Yeah, I think if he wants to get to his 4,000 yards in the air, he better hurry up and figure something out because he's not getting it done. He's not. And the only reason I'll say Zay Flowers did decent is because what do slot receivers do? They run short, quick routes in the middle of the field. That's all he can do. I don't know how many times I have to tell this to everybody. He can only throw short balls. He cannot air it out. He's terrible at it, and he just needs to go back and do what he does best because I have him on my fantasy team, so I need some yards from him. So, Lamar, if you hear this, please give me some fantasy points.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he'll hear it. Lamar, you're out there. I know you are. I guess I mean we can go here. We can go with my weekend gamble if we want to. Now I already told you guys what my weekend gamble is. I think 3 out of my 4 college upsets are going to hit. I'm getting 3 out of 4 of them. Those 3 that I said was South Carolina beating Georgia, Minnesota beating UNC, Michigan State beats Washington, and UF beats Tennessee. And I'll double down and say if none of them hits, I'll double my punishment.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
I will say, David, we put a good parlay on 3 of the 4 teams that you said there. So I didn't want to touch the Cox game. That one was a no-no.
You're Spencer Rattler, you just never know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. He could bring some chloroform in there and just that. Whoa, wait, what? And absolutely.
I can't put that in here. That can't go in here.
Of course it can.
No.
What's wrong with chloroform?
That's not the part I'm talking about. The chloroform part's fine. That's what you said after the chloroform part.
It'll be all right, man. He could go out there. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
There's a lot of things wrong with it. I don't.
Well, yes. But, he could go out there and absolutely destroy that defense.
There we go. I like that word better.
With his cock, but, whatever. I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of bleeps in there. There's going to be a lot of zero context there just to save your life, make sure it doesn't end up on the internet.
It's okay. I don't mind.
You already thanked Hurricane Katrina. That's a nice light you got up there, Christian.
Oh.
What? Thanks.
Did you just see that?
He stopped with his hand. That's pretty impressive.
No, I'm talking about when he said, huh, what, thanks. He flipped the phone somehow. It was a different view. Really weird. So while we're at it, Christian, go get a drink. We need the daily run and get your drink. Weekly run and get your drink.
Move Purdy. You guys
Where's-
want to see my dog?
You're talking Purdy?
Yeah, its name's Purdy.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Name a dog
Those
after Brock
dogs are the
Purdy?
most hideous dogs. I don't like those dogs.
No, the most
Yeah.
hideous dogs are yours, Nick. That's why no one's buying your OnlyFans.
I'm on Foot Finder and I'm doing quite all right.
Yeah. Is he doing all right enough not to fund the podcast?
I mean, people have kinks for scars on feet. I don't know what it is. Dip your toes in some buffalo sauce. I don't know, man.
That was oddly specific, actually. That was oddly specific.
Only because I have Ty do it to me all the time. So
Oldest house.
Did you at least like get some like ranch for it too?
Well, what's buffalo without ranch? Buffalo and ranch go hand in hand, do they not?
Or foot and foot, I guess, in this case.
There you go, foot and foot. Oh, this dude's ready.
He's ready. Christian's ready. All right. Well, gone in 60 seconds. We just started at the beginning of the episode, but somebody was driving. Well, always being a passenger princess. So, on your mark, get set. In today's episode of Gone in 60 Seconds, I will explain the wonderful sports world of Ochiyo Yatsura. Ochiyo Yatsura is a game that involves 100 contestants. They run through multiple obstacle courses and challenges, and the goal is to be the last one standing. Such challenges include team tail tag, door dash, full tilt, hoopsie daisy, and about 76 more different challenges. Most obstacle courses have time limits, and you have to be one of the first people to get there, or else you get eliminated. This can differ depending on the round as well. It's a free-for-all for sure, and a game that can get chaotic at times. People are actually known for purposely grabbing other opponents before crossing the finish line and even bumping them off the obstacle course to force them to go back to the last checkpoint. It is a true King of the Hill style game, and definitely can get frustrated at times. And that's about it for the sport.
Is this an anime sport?
It is not an anime sport. No,
Mm-hmm.
not an anime sport.
I've never heard of this. I'm sorry, I was struggling so bad. I just ate and then adding a seltzer water on top of it. It's like it's like sitting there, and I feel like I could throw up.
What's your guys' idea on this sport?
I don't even know what it is.
So, Ochiyo Yatsura.
All right, what does that translate to?
That's a good question. It actually translates to Fall Guys in Japanese. I just explained the game Fall Guys to you guys. That's the sport. Nick was very sussed out from the beginning. I didn't really fool him on this one. But yeah, it's just the video game Fall Guys.
All right, interesting.
What?
Interesting.
Christian?
Which one's
Fall Guys, that's the one where you're like the little characters. Like you're running up the obstacle course. It was like a free game on PlayStation. Do I need to show you what a Fall Guy looks like?
Is it the imposter dude?
That's Among Us.
Oh.
Looks like a blob, pretty much.
We'll edit it in right here.
No, this is Fall Guys, Christian.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it is now?
Yeah.
Okay. That game was super addicting for a little while.
For a little bit, but it's also really frustrating because you're losing against like 8-year-olds, and that's what infuriates me. If I lose against an 8-year-old, it just frustrates me. Which is why Fortnite's fine because their brains aren't big enough to comprehend shooting games as much as mine is. But when it comes to games like that where a lot of it's on luck, it makes me want to drop kick a K5. It really does. It makes me want to go down to my local elementary school, find a kindergartner, and absolutely just punt him like I'm freaking Ray Guy.
But we can keep that in?
Why not?
That's a little bit. Saying I'm going to drop kick a kindergartner is a little bit different than your spit my rattler situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean,
yeah, and YouTube doesn't like those words either. So,
well, I didn't use those words.
YouTube definitely doesn't like the word you used.
All right, let's get into the next one. David, I like the bet of the week you have going on. Should we? Where's this payday parlay? I'm very interested.
Goldie's locks. I'm not sure where we are in the naming situation now. Goldie's gridiron locks.
Yeah, what do we got, man?
Give me 1 second, boys. I gotta pull this up. I crafted it up real nice, like actually in the car. on the way to get ready to shoot this podcast that I got caught in. But on today, payday parlay, boys, pretty simple. We're going off football here. First one, I'm gonna take the Raiders plus 8.5 here. I think that is a lock. Nick, I think Josh Allen is out and be a baller. I think Josh Allen is out and fall flat on his feet yet again. I think Buffalo's window and time for opportunity is completely gone, and this Raiders team is a lot better than it's credit for it. Adding 8.5 points to the total score, I will 100%.
We'll have to put subtitles.
I have the Raiders winning. That's all I was hearing the whole time. It's like you have the plus 8.5.
You were like talking and then you'd stop, but your mouth kept moving. But we could use some more, and then it would stop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with the plus 8.5. The Bills are winning, but they could win by 14 or more. They have something to prove this week. So, go ahead.
I'm going to take the Chargers with the -3 against the Titans. And then to finish it off, I'm going to take Jacksonville on the money line to beat the Chiefs at home.
Interesting. Getting a home victory against the Chiefs. They have a bad taste in their mouth. I will say they have a bad taste in their mouth from last year. They might surprise some people and win that game.
I think the throw one out there too. I was kind of doing a little bit more surprises right now. I think the Jets could beat the Cowboys, and if you look at the Cowboys game right now, they're projected to win by 9. That's a ridiculous amount for 9. 9 is a ridiculous amount for that game. I think. I mean, yeah, you're down Aaron Rodgers, but like, how much were you saying they're going to lose by with Aaron Rodgers? If you were going to say just Zach Wilson being the QB is what makes it a 9-point favorite there.
They have something to prove now. Defense is going to play a lot harder. Dak Prescott's not nearly as good as Josh Allen is. Granted, Josh Allen was airing the ball out way more than he probably should have. But I agree. I don't think Wilson's that guy, but they still have a lot of good talent on that team. And for it to be 9, that's crazy to me. I know what they did to the New York Giants, but they're not going to do it to the other New York team.
Yeah. And then, like, another thing I put on here, I was like, don't be surprised. I think Christian, we talked about a bit. If the Chiefs start off 0-2, they play a really good Jacksonville Jaguars team who's looking for blood from a game they could have legitimately won last postseason. And so I think the Jaguars, they look good. They really did look good. Now the Lions are a good team. I'm pretty sure Kelsey should be back this week. I haven't heard rumors, but I'm pretty sure he should be back this week. But wide receiver wise and running back wise, outside of Kelsey, they did not look good at all in the prior week. So I really think this could be the Jaguars game to win here. Start off 2-0, Chiefs fall back 0-2.
Yeah, speaking on Travis Kelsey, he was full participant. I for the most part, he was out there catching, jumping around, things like that. He did say he's feeling 22, so we'll see how he's at. Now with his new girlfriend,
allegedly,
yeah. But
I like it.
Interesting. Yeah. I like it.
Well, if you want some more, I guess with all that, I have a little bit of Goldie's Locks made a little bit shorter because I knew we talked about a lot more stuff during the weekend episode. And it's actually going to be really simple. So let's go. Did I say go to quiz on your face? A little bit of quiz on your face, not Goldie's Locks.
Okay.
Again, like I said, we cover a lot before game days. So let's give a little quick trivia today. And it's going to be really simple rules here. I will give you multiple characters in a sports movie, and you'll just have to give me what movie they came from. That's all you got to do this week. I got 7 of these.
Multiple characters have to name
the names of multiple characters, and then you're going to tell me what movie they're from.
Oof. All right.
At number 1, we have Chet Steadman, Phil Brickma, and Henry Rotengartner. Chet Steadman, Phil Brickma, and Henry Rowengartner. This is going to be one that stumps you guys. It's going to be the movie ones. The ones that...
Locked in.
Wow, that's See, at this point, I might as well stop making hints. They're just not going to be used.
All right, what is it again?
Chet Stedman, Phil Brickma, and Henry Rowengartner.
These are the names of the characters in the movie, not real life,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, this is not the name of the people playing them.
You know it?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks because I definitely don't. All right, I'll lock in.
All right, who are you locking in with?
Longest yard.
Christian?
Air Bud.
The answer is Rookie of the Year. Chet Stedman was Gary Busey's character. Phil Brickma was the character that what's his face from Daniel Stern, the guy from. And then Henry Rowengartner. That's the one where he slips on the baseball and can throw like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I know.
At number 2, I feel like this is maybe. I feel like Nick may probably get this. Number 2, we have Kate Douglas, Newt Shaw, Juan Morales, and Deputy Sheriff Tom Palmer. Yeah, Kate Douglas, Newt Shaw, Juan Morales, and Deputy Sheriff Tom Palmer.
I feel like I know this too, but I don't know where.
It can't be that movie.
You want?
No.
Oh. Yeah, screw your hints, David.
I'm gonna lock in.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's whatever. Use a hint again.
I'll lock.
Okay, Nick, who'd you lock in with?
I locked in because I didn't want Christian to get a hint. I locked in with the Little Giants.
What'd you lock in with, Christian?
Locked in with I don't know.
Your hint would have been probably the goat of soccer movies and made a lot of green, or just has a goat in it that was painted green, and that's going to be the movie The Big Green.
Yep, I would have gotten it. I would have gotten it. Oh.
Number 3, this should be an easy one. We have Scott Smalls, Hamilton Porter, and Wendy Peppercorn.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, Christian.
Sandlot.
Nick.
Sandlot.
Yeah, it's the Sandlot. I thought not just putting Ham Porter may have thrown you off a bit, but that may have been a little too easy. Number 4, we got Stan Podolak, Swackhammer, Bupkis, and Lola. Stan Podolak, Swackhammer, Lola, and Bupkis.
Locked in.
All right, I'll lock in.
All right, Christian, what are you locking in with?
Space Jams.
Nick?
Is that right? That's not what I was going with Mighty Ducks, which is wrong, but
Space Jam. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I heard Lola. I heard Lola and was like, oh, that's the female bunny.
Lola was the throw. That's the one I threw in there. I feel like was a little bit under the radar. Stan Podolak is Wayne Knight's character, and Swackhammer's the green person that Danny DeVito plays. So
I didn't even think about. I did not think about like Lola Bunny.
Yeah. Because I didn't call her Lola Bunny. That the hint would have been most of the cast includes real athletes, so I had to use all the fictional ones. At number 5, characters Charlie Conway, Adam Cake Eater Banks, Greg Goldberg, and Fulton Reed.
Locked in.
I'll lock in.
All right, Christian, what are you locking in with?
Don't know.
Nick?
Let's go. Goldberg! Mighty Ducks.
It is the Mighty Ducks. Goldberg is the one who wore the Flyers hockey sweater all the time. So what's the score now? Is it
2-2?
To 2-2? All right, at number 6, I have White Goodman, Peter LaFleur, Cotton McKnight, and Chuck Norris.
Oh my gosh. All those just hit me,
White
and
Goodman.
now I can't think of the movie. I can't think of the movie. I just drew a blank.
Oh, that's so perfect. Wow.
Oh, locked in.
All right, Nick, what'd you lock in with?
Dodgeball.
That's a bold strategy there, Cotton, but it's well, buddy, yes, sir.
I had to take a second.
If you guys didn't get any of those, my hint was Other characters include Blade, Laser, and Blazer.
Yeah. It took me a second because I'm like, I know this, but I just drew a blank.
This could be a tie. At number 7, I have Roger Dorn, Jake Taylor, and Ricky Vaughn.
Hmm.
We got Roger Dorn, Jake Taylor, and Ricky Vaughn. Baby.
Do you want to take the hint? We haven't taken one.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask if you wanted to take the hint.
Let's do it.
All right. This movie is about a Major League Baseball team. That's the only hint you're getting.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Christian, who'd you lock in with?
I'm telling you, I'm so wrong here, but I'm gonna go Moneyball.
Nick?
Going Major League.
It is Major League. I gave you the answer at the end.
Yeah, I knew it as soon as you said that. I knew it. Oh,
Yeah, Ricky
What?
Vaughn, that's a Wild Thing. That's Charlie Sheen's
Okay.
character.
what would you have gotten it if you said Wild Thing?
No.
Okay.
Really? Have you seen
Interesting.
Major League?
You haven't seen
I
Major
don't
League
know.
or the sequel,
believe-
Major League 2?
I believe I've seen Major League. It's just been a while.
Charlie
Well,
Sheen.
Christian with a loss there. Did you win last episode, Christian? I completely forget.
I believe I did.
No, I smoked him.
Last episode?
Yeah, on Tuesday. Yeah, dude, I beat you like 6-3.
What was the topic?
Siblings trivia.
Yeah,
Because I was
he-
talking about twins for whatever reason. I talked about twins for this past week.
Yeah. He shit on me on that one.
yeah.
All right. So I think the last thing we have is Dubs and Chugs.
Oh, guys, we killed it this episode.
We went
Yeah, real
fast.
Man, before we go any further, man, since we're going to Dubs and Chugs, shout out to the Braves being the first to clinch a division. Unfortunately, they clinched it by beating the Phillies. That sucks. Enjoy it, guys. This is the only thing you're going to enjoy as far as awards go for teams, because I hate to break it to you, playoffs are a whole nother animal. But I will say this. And this isn't biased by any means. This is based on what I'm seeing on offense. The only team I actually see beating the Braves is the Phillies. They hit this team. They've been hitting this team very well. And, if they can work out pitching, I mean that they're gonna dominate. But I don't
We've been
know.
saying that for about 10 years now. So
I know. It's frustrating. But yeah, I'll get into it, guys. Friday, we got the Twins versus the White Sox.
I'll take the Twins.
yeah, again, like I said, I've been thinking about Twins a lot this past week. The Twins, I don't think they've shown their projected pitcher, but they are the better team and had that division on lock. And the White Sox just aren't that good. So I'm going to pick the Twins here.
Yeah, I'm with you both on that. I'm going to go Twins here as well. Next game is going to be the Rangers versus the Guardians.
Take the Rangers. Think the bats will stay hot over there.
Yeah, the Rangers have finally realized their situation because they have won 5 straight games now, and they're only 1 game back of first place of the Astros. And I think the Rangers stay hot here. Bad news about Scherzer, though that's going to be interesting going into the playoffs. But I think that the Rangers will win this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got him to kind of help with playoff time, and I don't know what they're going to do. The bats, you can only do so much on offense. You got to be able to pitch. You can't be going out there giving up 6-7 runs,
especially in a 7-game series.
Yeah, you just can't do it. But yeah, I'm going to take the Rangers too. They have to stay hot. They have to. Getting into our last game on Friday, we got the Phillies versus the Cards.
I'll take the Phillies. I mean, we got to. We're 1.5 games up in the wild card spot right now. You have to stay hot. You have to stay up in the lead.
Yep, exactly what I said too. Phillies are only a game and a half up of the Cubs for the first wild card spot now. The Phillies have had a rough patch due to unreliable pitching, like we've talked about. They only sit 1.5 games up on the Cubs, like we said. They need this win, and we have Nola pitching this weekend. But Thompson's not a bad pitcher for the Cardinals. I still think Philly gets it done.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. They suffered a terrible defeat to the Braves this past week.
Two terrible
Um,
defeats.
they should have won both those games. But I'm going to go with the Phillies, too. They're going to bounce back in St. Louis. Getting into Saturday, we got the Rays versus the Orioles. Very interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Orioles here. I know that I can't really decide both teams. Two good teams here, but we'll go with the home team, Orioles. Take them for the win.
Yeah, it's a decent pitching matchup. I think the edge goes to the Rays. They have Glasnow versus Rodriguez. This series could pretty much decide who's going to win that division, though. Tampa's only 2 games back of the Orioles, but Orioles have kept them within the arm's length. They've been around 3 to 4 games for like the past 2 months now. Now, for right now, it's just really going to be the battle between who gets that spot and who gets the first wild card spot. Because right now they're 10 base 2 games back of the first place spot in the AL East, but they're 8 games ahead of the second place wild card. So that's really the fight there. And you know what? I think the Rays are going to win this one. And they may not win this series, but I feel like the Rays will win this one. I like Glasnow over Rodriguez.
It's tough. This is the toughest game. Actually, maybe the next one might be the toughest, but this is a tough one. Really going to decide who wins that division. And to be honest, I like taking the home team. I like taking the Orioles at home in Baltimore. I think they get this game done. Getting into our next game, we got the Dodgers versus the Mariners.
It's tough, man. Mariners are hot. But you know what? I think I'm gonna take the Dodgers on the road here, man.
It's a tough one, like you said. These are arguably probably the 2 best teams in the second half of baseball this year. The Mariners are only a game and a half back of Houston in the first place spot, and the Dodgers have been really hot too. At home, I'm going to pick the Mariners to win this one at home.
Yeah, both teams are hot. Both teams are good. Both teams are probably going to make the playoffs. It's tough. It's really tough. But I gotta roll with the home team on this one. I gotta say the Mariners are gonna win this game. Getting into our next game, Christian, you're gonna love this one. Cubs versus Diamondbacks.
I'll take the Diamondbacks because they need to win so we can keep the Phillies up.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The Diamondbacks are right now tied for Cincinnati with the last wild card spot. And like we said, right now the Cubs are a game and a half back of that first spot. They're also 4 games back of first place in the NL Central. And I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with, I think the D-backs do end up winning this one.
Yeah. I'm going to keep the trend for Saturday's games. The Cubs need to win. We need them to lose. I'm hoping they lose. And it's in Arizona. Give me the Diamondbacks winning this one. Now, I know if you guys haven't noticed, the games I picked on Saturday were the best matchups of the weekend, right? And there was a reason for that. Going in on Sunday, we're going to change it up. We're going to NFL.
That's what I figured would happen. That's why I didn't even do any research on it.
And I didn't want David to do any research on it. Nope, not at all. Going to be a surprise to both of you. First game, we got Seahawks versus Lions.
At Detroit, I mean, listen, I think Seattle has a bounce back game. I think that Geno Smith and company are going to come out there and show, what happened last week against the Rams. That wasn't their best showing, but at the end of the day, I still think Detroit gets the job done.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. Like I said, Detroit had a really good game against the Chiefs. They held Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't say at bay. He still had like 250 yards, but they held that offense in check with only 20 points. The Seahawks just didn't look that good last week, and the defense for the Lions is really good. Let's see what the favors are looking here. So yeah, Detroit at 4.5. I don't think it's going to be that big of a blowout, but I do think the Lions end up winning this game at home.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Seahawks have to bounce back. Detroit just got a great win in Kansas City. Detroit's at home. It's going to be tough to play at home. Against Detroit. But I think Seahawks finally, they get that bounce back game. That wide receiving core is just way too stacked for them not to go out there and do something this week. They figure it out. Seahawks win on the road.
That's Ghetto Goldie.
So, all right. I don't know what he's going on over there. Whatever drugs you're taking, Christian.
Happiness
Yeah, happiness, absolutely.
without the hap.
Next game on Sunday, we got the Chiefs versus the Jags.
I already told you what I think right there, buddy. Give me the Jags.
Yeah, I agree. I really think the Chiefs are going to go down 0-2, and I think the Jags will start with the 2-0. They may even be. Actually, no, I forget that Houston plays the Colts. I was going to say they could be the only team that's has a win in that division, but they could tie. But yeah, I'm going to say the Jaguars are gonna win that game.
What happens if you pick a tie and you hit it? You should just win for the week, right? Like,
I call it tie. Yeah, it's a golden snitch.
I think it's an automatic win. For my sake, I'm going to the game. It's gonna be fun.
It's fun.
But if Jags are favored, is that a good sign? I don't think. Well, it's favored for you guys, and everyone else is starting to favor them. I don't think that's good for the Jags. But this is their home turf, first home game. Calvin Ridley is going to put on a show. Trevor Lawrence is going to go off. Jags are going to get this one done at home. The next game, guys, this is always an interesting matchup every single year. We got the Ravens versus the Bengals.
I knew that's what you're going to go with too.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow has to have a bounce-back game after the contract he just signed and the horrible performance he put on in Cleveland. I know we talked a little bit earlier and said weather might have been a factor there. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be, but one way or another, I mean, you figure Joe B have a bounce-back game, so I'm going to take the Bengals.
So you're taking the Bengals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that there. I think you're not gonna hold Joe Burrow down to 84 passing yards again. Like I said, the Bengals defense has been snuffing at that Ravens offense for the past 2 or 3 years now. I think Joe Burrow gets a good bounce back game. I think it's supposed to be cloudy at game time, not a lot of rain, so I think it's gonna be nice and dry. And next to T. Higgins going to have himself a game. I think T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, both are going to have themselves a game. Joe Burrow, I say he's going to throw for over 350 this week. Bengals win.
You know, again, I said the Browns would win week 1. Fluke win, to be honest. The Bengals are a way better team than the Browns. And the Bengals at home, Ravens, playing the Ravens, it's going to be a good matchup. I mean, it always is. It always is interesting. I feel like it might end up being a shootout. In all honesty, I think it might be a high-scoring game. Both offenses looked awful last week. But the Bengals are a better team. They need the win. They need that little motivation. So I'm going to take the Bengals as well. Guys, tiebreaker game. It's a kind of an interesting one. Going Bears versus Bucks.
I'm gonna take the Bucks on the win there. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take them. Let's go. Go 24-17.
That's interesting. Yeah. So we saw the Packers go in and absolutely destroy the Bears in Chicago by 18. They let Jordan Love walk all over them, and then you put on the fact they also let 92 rushing yards along with those. And honestly, I think it's going to be tough, but I think the Bears will win this game. Now, and that may come as a surprise because of how bad the offensive line looked last week. But I think Justin Fields is going to have a good game on the ground this week. I think he'll have over 125 yards rushing. I think the Buccaneers may not be able to stop that rushing attack from Justin Fields. I can see him even having one rush for over 50 yards and a touchdown. And I think that the Bears will end up winning this game. Let's go 21-17.
Wow, both you close games. Yeah, I mean nothing against Bucks played pretty well last week. Baker Mayfield played decent. Apparently knew what the defense was doing and started calling it out. I hope Jalen Hurts has that same success tonight. Bears are a better team than I think a lot of people give. I just think last week their defense is just so new. It was just so they're just trying to learn how to work together, and again, not really doing anything during the preseason. I think that kind of hurts any team. Um, but I think I'm with you, David. I think the Bears are going to get this one done in Tampa Bay. Nothing is Tampa Bay. They look like they have a decent shot this year. I thought they were going to be pretty bad, but they're bouncing back. Looking decent. But I'm going to say the Bears win 24-20. I think they went. Yeah, it's tough. This was a tough game. Honestly, a lot of the games were tough. I mean, do you guys have any surprise NFL games you want to pick? Pick one each, real quick.
Yeah, I already touched on it. I think that the Jets are going to beat the Cowboys. And like if not, like I said, they're definitely going to not lose by 9 or more.
Yeah.
But I think that team defensive wise, we didn't get to really see Dak Prescott throw the ball out that much. And it's going to be really interesting to see how he does against that Jets secondary that is so good. And the Jets also have a really good defensive line. They're not putting up 40. I think it's really just going to come down to, can Zach Wilson keep the offense on the field?
Yeah.
That's going to be the tough one there. They have all the talents around him. They have the defensive talent, but unfortunately now it's going to rely on the hands of Zach Wilson. I think the Jets can pull it off. I really think the defense can help pull them off. I think they're better at defense and special teams than the Cowboys are. So I think the Jets are my surprise team of the week this week.
Speaking of special teams, man, that punt returner barely made the team. Only made it because of punt returning, and goes out there first game and gets a game winner. I mean, come on now. It doesn't get better than that.
Covey, take
They
notes.
really wrote him a very good script this year. I will say that.
Wrote Aaron Rodgers a terrible script this year.
They did. Yeah, they did. Christian, you got anyone that surprise underdogs, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I touched base on it a little earlier here too. I mean, I really like the Raiders, man. I think the Raiders go into Buffalo, and I think they have done. Like I said earlier, I really truly think that the Bills' window for a Super Bowl run is gone now. I mean, it's over. I know they say, with Josh Allen at the helm, you always have a chance. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. I think the Raiders team, I had the Raiders winning last week against the Broncos. I think the Raiders team is a lot better than you get credit for. It just really comes down to, Garoppolo's quarterback play, because he is a game manager. He's not really your throw it that much type of guy. But it's a pretty balanced offensive attack.
You saw it really hit with Devontae Smith's good grief. Wow, I cannot believe I just drew a blank. Like Devontae Adams' production last week. Again, they're playing the Broncos. We all know Broncos defense it's a rough one. But mine is actually going to be the Rams beating the Niners this week. Nakua had a game against Seattle secondary, and that's, in my opinion, that secondary is better than the Niners secondary, not front. The front for the Niners is unmatched. But Stafford's looking better, and I think the Rams are going to go 2-0 and be on top of the division starting now. I don't know if they win the division, but I think they're going to be 2-0. And that Phillies game is just getting closer and closer for me. The Christian buying me that ticket. Loving it.
I will say this. Of course, Stafford picks the white receiver to do a bunch of yards. So,
what was he, a fifth-round draft pick, right?
I forget, where did he even come from? Like, what school is he from?
I have no idea. They're just trying to take a play out of Belichick's book over there.
Just get it works. Just grab those random slot wide receivers. Did you play quarterback in college? Oh, how would you play wide receiver now?
Yeah, that's where you're going. A lot of great matchups this weekend. I'm can't wait for it, man. And I can actually enjoy the Jags game. Phillies Eagles play tonight. Look out for Swift, man. Swift's probably going to have a decent game. Hurts said he's going to put the team on his back. I cannot wait to see that happen.
Tell your mother
I'm hoping it happens tonight. I hope they open up that playbook a little bit more. Get them firing. You know, why not go out there first couple plays of the game and just toss one up to AJ Brown and just make a statement out of it? Just would like to see it. But anyway, guys, week 2 football coming up. Enjoy it. Have a couple beers. Watch some Red Zone. But yeah, enjoy the weekend. Deuces.
Come join the hype. We not just blowing steam. We're known for our hot takes, blazing like fire, bringing heat to the table, never preaching to the choir, debating on players, teams, and even strategies. We keep it real, the sugar-coated fallacies. David's on the mic, spinning knowledge of flair. He breaks down the stats with a voice.